I'm Clint Johnson with Integrated Aerial Solutions. We're out here doing work for Buffco Production in East Texas today. What we want to show you is how we use DJI Enterprise drones to greatly affect their workflows. We're going to be using various payloads today to showcase that. So the first one we want to show you is our methane detection and how we use it over facilities like the one behind me and miles of pipeline. We're also going to go into our thermal detection and our zoom capabilities to greatly impact inspections and show temperature anomalies. What we're using is a TD-LAS style laser detection to find these methane leaks. Buffco has over 100 miles of pipeline just in this area. If you were to walk that out, you'd run into gates, you'd run into creeks, you'd run into several different landowners that don't often want you on their property. What's also beneficial about that is we don't go into areas unknown if there's a gas plume or not. With drones, we take the best of both worlds and we find the leaks safely and efficiently. So the first thing we want to do, of course, is set up our drone. After we attach the U10 sensor, we're going to pull up the AILF app to make sure that it's calibrated the way it's supposed to. We're going to set our alarm line here to 50. It can go as low as 5 ppm, but 50 is a true indicator of a real leak. Then from there, we're going to switch to the DJI Pilot 2 app. I like to fly at an altitude of 215 feet, but you can go up to 300 feet and still get reliable data. From there, we're going to fly the facility and look for any leaks, and then we're going to take it along pipeline. Buffco in this area alone, as I've mentioned before, has over 100 miles. So with this, I can stay in this position, maintain visual line of sight, and cover several miles of pipeline and look for any leaks along the way. So during flight, what we're going to be doing is we're going to take that laser sensor, and you can see the crosshairs here that we have, and we're going to go ahead and sweep the area. Try to have it angled downward and towards the ground as much as you can. The more you angle it up, the more you get too much atmosphere and you could get false readings. Also, if you get a detection while you're too far off angled, it might mess up the coordinates because it's really going off the drone, not where the laser is pointed. So I like to keep it as close to a 90-degree angle as I can. The only little bit of variance of that is as I'm going along the equipment, I'm going to be sweeping the equipment side to side just to account for wind drift, but I'm not going to go enough that the laser comes off the ground too much. And to make sure that we're covering all the area that the gas might be venting to if there is any gas to detect. Once we land, we're going to go back to the AILF app and we're going to pull up everything that we just flew and we're going to sync with the device. Then we're going to have all these reports and, if desired, CSV files ready. In these reports, you'll see that the areas that we flew without a detection have a green clear path and there were no leaks present, which is perfect for EPA audits. If there is a detection, you'll see these little red indicators that also quantify the detection, and it gives you exact coordinates to where the leak is and snaps an image of the leak itself. Then you can easily see what the report looks like in the history, and you can download it to the PDFs or CSV files that you need. And then you can hook up a USB-C to the controller and have it all on your computer and ready to send out. What makes this great for oil and gas is we're able to fly far enough away that it's not a violation and it's not a harm. We have no explosion concern at all. That is why the safety of drones is paramount and why it's essential for every oil and gas company. So thermal inspection for oil and gas has been extremely valuable. What you can do with thermal inspection that was very difficult before is you can find hydrates and ice plugs. So what the drone can do is sometimes you'll have it in multiple sections or you'll have it in one section and you just don't know which one. I can run the thermal along it and I can see if there's temperature differential on parts that shouldn't be. If there's a part that's hot that's not supposed to be, or if there's a part that's too cold. These flare stacks have to be inspected every 3 to 5 years. And the typical way to do it before was to shut down the entire flare stack and shut down the facility to do a proper inspection. Well, over the course of a day, that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars, in some cases millions. When you initially boot up the H30T, what you're gonna see is this main screen with all these options. The options off to the side here, you're able to switch to IR or you're able to switch to zoom. So that's your infrared is the IR. We're gonna start there. When you switch to this, you have several color palette options. You tap on this part of the screen and you can switch from black hot to white hot or to my personal favorite, which is rainbow. Rainbow to me shows exactly what you're looking for with a lot of clarity. Once you're in this mode, you can then hit the SBS button, which is side by side, where you have the visual on one side and this thermal on the other side. Also from the thermal, you can tap on different parts of the screen and you can see what the temperature is at that point. So if you're really curious about how hot a certain area is, you can tap and find that out. You could also change your range of temperature. So from here, you can see that we're in a wide view visible light. If we want to go to thermal, we're going to hit L1 right here. This is going to be that iron red palette. As you can see, this compressor on the right is active and going. This compressor on the left is not. Now, in the case of a compressor, you're going to hear and easily identify if one is running and not. Where this becomes valuable is like over here, where you see this unit running and pipeline next to it is not. So you can see what pipeline has gas going through it and which one doesn't, just like you see here. If you're looking at thermal, but you can't quite tell everything you're looking at, you can hit R3 here and have a side-by-side view. Now you can have a visible light and thermal together where the crosshairs are matching. We're gonna switch over to here, to this pipeline. If we wanna inspect that as well all at once, we're able to zoom in and see anything that we might need to see. A lot of times you can zoom in good enough to see if the valve is open or closed. So once we've done these inspections, we're gonna take these videos and photos that are saved on the SD card to the drone. We're gonna upload them into the computer. From there, we'll be able to take them and put them into our final report, but also show them to the contractors and the employees what exactly is wrong and what needs fixing. The other thing that's nice about it is, as you'll see here, I'm able to mark the points of interest. And so once I do that, it generates coordinates for me that I can send via a QR code on the controller. It makes everybody's life extremely easy as I send that out to multiple contractors. So this is an example of the thermal video you'll take back to the office. What I like about this video and being able to take it back here is you can show it to multiple people at the company with their different specialties so they can determine if there's any issues or concerns. What you'll see here is you have these purple lines and you have these kind of gold or orange lines. That'll tell you which one has gas flowing through it and which one doesn't. The purple lines in this example are cold, so there's no gas running through it. These gold orange lines are warm, there's gas running through it. That comes in handy when you're trying to track down ice blocks or you're trying to find issues or you have mislabel on the equipment. So as I was sharing before with the zoom capabilities of the H30T, this is a flare stack that we're able to inspect and to look closely at without ever having to shut down the flare. To do an inspection with this kind of detail would absolutely require a shutdown, costing hundreds of thousands of dollars as that equipment is not able to run. With the H30T, we're able to inspect it and keep the equipment going. Thank you for taking the time with us today. As you were able to see, a few use cases that make working with drones and oil and gas so valuable, but we barely scratched the surface. We use drones for so many other things, and we would love to teach you about those too. Check the description below or reach out to us so that you can learn more. Till next time.